Joining me now, Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy. Senator, thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it. The vice president hasn't held any press conferences or done any interviews since the ticket changed, but her team has been putting out word through the media that she's not as liberal as she once was. The New York Times writes, in addition to changing her position on fracking, campaign officials said she now backed the Biden administration's budget request for increased border funding for border enforcement, no longer supported a single-payer health insurance program, and echoed Mr. Biden's call for banning assault weapons, but not a requirement to sell them to the federal government. Why are we hearing this from anonymous officials instead of from her directly?
Well, first of all, Kamala Harris has always been for border security. And the fact of the matter is this campaign is going to involve a enormously important contrast between the Biden-Harris administration, which has pushed for bipartisan border security legislation that would fix the problems at the border, and Donald Trump, who killed that bipartisan deal. Today, border crossings are lower at the southwest border than they were at the end of the Trump presidency. There is a contrast between Democrats, Kamala Harris, who's serious about border security, and Republicans who are not. Now, on the question of fracking, fracking can be done a lot more safely today than it could have been done 4 years or 8 years ago. And so I can't speak for the vice president, but everybody should be open to new information that would educate your positions. There's also a reality on drilling and fossil fuel exploration. We're actually doing more drilling, more fossil fuel exploration today than during the Trump administration. And we've had $40 billion of investment in clean energy. So Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have shown that you can continue to exploit American natural resources while increasing investment in clean energy. Donald Trump said he wanted to drill, but he was terrible at it.
Let's go back to the border because you brought it up. And you have tried to distance the vice president from this administration's greatest vulnerability, which is the border. Some Democrats have tried to minimize her role in addressing the crisis, but you told the Washington Examiner this week Kamala Harris was given a job to reduce migration from Central America, and she did it incredibly well, stunningly well. But the numbers do show a different picture there. 4.31 million migrants from these countries, specifically, crossed into the U.S. since 2021. It is up 140% from Trump's term, 34% from the Obama years. How is that stunningly well?
So I'm squinting to read your figures, but the figures I have seen show that from the three Northern Triangle countries that Kamala Harris was put in charge of stemming migration from, migration has dropped by 50 to 60% from those countries. What has increased
over the course of the term because it started so high.
Well, it started so high in part because of a series of crises that unfolded during the Trump administration. What drove the increase in migration was in part huge increased travel from a country like Venezuela, which was plunged into economic crisis because of Donald Trump's policies. Kamala Harris was given an important but discreet task. She was able to dramatically reduce migration from those countries. And again, apples to apples, crossings at the southwest border are lower today than they were at the end of the Trump administration.
We could talk for a long time about Venezuela, but I want to talk to you about the Supreme Court reform proposal. This week, the White House said that they were open to eliminating the filibuster to get this across. Listen to what they said here. These past endorsing eliminating the filibuster then.
I mean, look, he laid out the three ways that he wants to move forward. We're going to have hopefully a healthy debate with Congress on what this is going to look like.
Yes, on the filibuster?
No, I actually answered this. I said we're going to have a healthy debate.
Welcomes a question on filibuster.
We welcome a healthy debate on how to move forward.
So the topics of these proposals are one thing. It's been well discussed all week long, but the mechanism of how you do it really has not been explored. Would you support eliminating the filibuster to make this happen?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can just speak for myself. I mean, I just don't think that democracy can allow for 40% of the United States Senate to stand in the way of progress that's popular with the American public. 90% of the American public supports background checks on gun sales. We can't pass that in the United States Senate, not because we can't get 50 United States senators, but because we can't get 60 United States senators. So there are many very popular proposals that we can't pass simply because of the filibuster. But let's talk for a second about the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is captured by corporate interests today, and the American public knows that. So yes, we should also have a conversation about what to do about a Supreme Court that is increasingly way out of step with the American public and with some members that are brazenly corrupt.
On what you just said, though, about eliminating the filibuster, your campaign surrogate is this the position of the Harris campaign as well?
Oh, I'll let the Harris campaign speak for themselves. All I know is that I want democracy to respond to the American public when they want something done. And right now, the filibuster often stands in the way of getting that done.
I understand this because the president, his own commission to study this proposal, concluded that parties who use their majority, using their power to restructure independent institutions for political ends, can undermine the values of the Constitution. This is directly from the Commission. It says, in recent years, we've seen democratic governments regress or backslide with respect to judicial independence. Democratic systems most resistant to this prospect are those in which an electoral majority is not sufficient to change the fundamental structure of institutions such as the courts. Are you concerned that eliminating the filibuster would put the U.S. on track for some of that democratic backsliding that you mentioned Venezuela? I mean, we have seen other countries slide into backslide.
What's at the heart of any democracy? A majority of Americans who elect leaders who agree with them getting what they want. And so I just think that when there's a majority of Congress in favor of a policy, that policy should get to the president's desk. So yes, Kamala Harris is probably going to run on a series of reforms to make democracy work better. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who has promised on day one to become a dictator, to suspend democratic norms, running on the Project 2025 platform that calls for turning the Department of Justice into an operation to hunt political opponents and to kill political dissent. So yeah, I think there's going to be a clear contrast in this election between Kamala Harris, who's going to run on a platform to make democracy work better, and Donald Trump, who is promising to suspend democracy.
It was a very interesting conversation, Senator. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on.